Hey guys, Miss Sims here. I wanted to work out that question you asked me for in class that I didn't get to finish. So we're going to look at number 18 from page 252. All right, so first off, let's see what they tell me. They tell me that dv dt is flowing at the rate of 6 meters per second. So is flowing in, so we're going to say that that is flowing at a rate of negative 6 meters cubed per minute. And we have a hemispherical bowl that is 13 meters shown in the profile. So that's 13. We also talked about why this side is 13. So basically I know that capital R is 13. All right. It says answer the questions given that the volume is equal to pi over 3 times y squared times 3r minus y. So basically the radius of the shape is not changing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So pi over 3 y squared, and that's going to be 3 times 13 minus y. And I'm just going to simplify this just a little bit. So I left that as pi over 3. And then I distributed, so I had 39 y squared minus y cubed. And then I actually just distributed the pi over 3. So pi over 3 gave me 13 pi y squared minus pi over 3 y cubed. All right, and then so at what rate is the water rising when the water is 8 meters deep? So at 8 meters deep, y is 8, and I'm looking for dv dt. So over here, I'm going to take my derivative, dv dt will equal 26 pi y dy dt and minus pi, because 3 times that will cancel, y squared dy dt. And I wrote that I wanted dv dt, but I wanted to say I wanted dy dt. So now I'm going to put my numbers in. So dv dt was negative 6. And then I have 26 pi, and then this was 8 meters dy dt minus pi, and then that would be 8 squared dy dt. So I just simplified this a little bit. So I said negative 6, and then those both have pi, so I pulled out the dy dt. And then I had 26 times 8 minus 64, and that was, I wrote it down, hold on, 144 pi. So I said dy dt was negative 6 over 144 pi, and that definitely reduces to negative 1 over 24 pi meters per minute. All right. And then we actually did part B kind of in class. Well, I got it started on it, so I'm going to scroll up here. So on part B, it says, what is the radius of the water's surface area when the water is y meters deep? So basically, I wanted to think about the radius. And so if you remember, we were kind of talking about that in class. So I needed to figure out what this little radius is. And remember, since this is capital R, right? That makes this distance right here, which is 13, right? That makes this little tiny distance right here 13 minus y. So if I want to solve for radius, I did radius squared. Radius squared plus 13 minus y squared equaled 13 squared. And then I just kind of worked on simplifying this a little bit. So radius squared plus, I know that is going to be 169 minus 26 y plus y squared, and that equals 169. Scratch that out. And so I'll just move everything to the other side, and I'll have r squared, and then I'll minus 169, so I'll make those cancel like that, and that'd give me a positive 26y minus y squared. Now, from there, if I can take the square root, but if I'm taking the derivative, who cares? This derivative would be 2r dr dt equals 26 dy dt minus 2y dy dt. All right. And as I'm working on that one, I want to come in and let's say what I know. They told me, well, I have to come back here and figure out the radius, right? So I need to think about, well, what would the radius be at the instant that y is 8, right? So if y was 8, then this triangle would look like this. It'd be 13 minus 8, which would be 5. This would be 13, and so that's a 5, 12, 13 triangle. So now I know the little r would be 12 at that one instance. So 2 times 12 dr dt, which is what I'm looking for, equals 26 dy dt. Did we just figure out dy dt? And actually, I'm going to pull this out, minus 2, and y we know was 8, correct? And then they both have dy dt. I'm going to put that extra step in here. So I've got 2 times 12 dr dt. And then right here, that would be 26, right? Minus 16, so that's 10. And then we just figured dy dt, that was minus 1 over 24 pi. So as I simplify this, dr dt would be 10 negative 1 over 24 pi divided by 24. And if you think about your keep it, change it, flip it, let me make sure I got all my units right here. Then I'd end up with 10 times negative 1 over 24 pi times 1 over 24. And I just worked on reducing those. And I was like, well, I can make that a 5, and I can make that a 12. And then that's as far as I could go with it. So I ended up with negative 5 over 288 pi. And again, the units on that would be meters per minute. All right. And then on part C, or wait a minute. Oh, sorry. That's part B and part C. Sorry about that. I was like, I know I did part C. So part B, you just asked me to come up with this formula for radius. That's part B. And then part C actually had me figure out dr dt. So I just kind of blended all those together. So hopefully that helps a little bit with it. If you look on the solution manual, they did simplify r to r, not r squared, but I didn't, just because who cares? I can plug in. Why deal with the square root radical when I could just take no square root radicals? So I still get the same answer. So hopefully that helps a little, and good luck studying.